The big thing is what you do every day matters a lot more than what you do once in a while. So a lot of people, they have these aspirations, especially in the new year, like, okay, I'm going to make all these resolutions and try to eat better. And they go from 0 to 100 really fast. And that just kind of sets you up for failure. So what we would want to encourage is just trying to do a little bit every single day for the whole entire year, rather than trying to do as much as you can. And then kind of leading to that point to where it's like, okay, I can't do this anymore. This is too tough. We want to try to make things simpler, and so that you can actually sustain it, for years to come. So just making things a little bit easier, focusing on what you can do every single day rather than just what you can do a couple times throughout the year.
Yeah. Okay. And a good analogy for this is everybody here went to school. So if you got failed test after test and all of a sudden you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to study super hard and I'm going to get 100% on this next test. But your overall grade really doesn't change much from that one test.
Right.
But if you just were more consistent with maybe studying a little bit, you'd get 70, 80% on all the tests. You're going to end up better at the end of the class overall versus just focusing on one test and doing really, really well. Wyatt's scared because he hasn't been to school yet.
Yeah, so we want to think more of eating on a spectrum. So it's not like, okay, I'm eating super healthy or unhealthy. It's more like a scale of 1 to 10, or we can use kind of these colored smiley faces. So most people, they're either on a red or green, and they're not really in the middle. We would rather see people kind of right in the middle in the yellow, or maybe this kind of light green guy. So probably like 60 to 80% of the time, we're eating healthy whole foods with sprinkling in some stuff that you like to enjoy. Like today, you're going to have a healthy meal, but you might have a couple drinks. That's totally fine. Or maybe you get dessert as well. We'd rather have people do that, and then starting Monday or the next day, they're getting right back on track instead of kind of going off the rails, either super clean or super unhealthy. So hopefully that makes sense.
Right. And when someone starts their fitness journey, a lot of people, they are maybe in the red or the orange, where they're not really incorporating very many healthy foods into their diet. But what we want to see and what we encourage is just moving that way on the spectrum. Mm-hmm. We don't expect to be all the way perfect on the other side right away. We don't even want that. We want you to learn, okay, how do we start incorporating these really healthy foods? How do we move along the spectrum? So then that way you can have this as a long, sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah. And the one thing I'll say real quick too is that for the people that are trying to be perfect, you end up having to sacrifice a lot of other things in life, like maybe coming out and having a nice night out because it's like, oh, I don't want to go off my plan, so I can't go out with friends. I can't, do this or that. It almost becomes a problem when you are too perfect with the nutrition. So we'd rather see people actually, enjoy yourself every once in a while. You're going to be able to sustain that much, much longer, over the course of a year, 2 years plus, rather than just a month or a couple months out of the year.
Mm-hmm.